Well, I wanted to work with Doug, and I felt that with this kind of material, we really it offered a unique cinematic journey for an audience. It had the potential for some really great characters, very unique action, very unique love story, and that's why I wanted to do that. I love this concept of the reset. You know, having to relive that same day, and also, when we finally, we worked on this character so that when this guy starts out as the reluctant hero, he doesn't want that, and everything is very human. I love that kind of character to play, and the world is such a big cinematic world to play in, and something that have a tremendous amount of adventure and action, and also that this kind of unique love story, this relationship with this woman, that I think is actually, becomes quite moving and I think surprising for an audience in the end. Yeah, he understands that. His characters in his films I find very compelling and unique. As a filmmaker, he's someone that when I watch his movies right from the very beginning, I love his characters in his movies. And I think that that's what I was excited to work with him on and to find that. And I have such respect for him. He's got enormous talent. He's got a great eye, very unique eye. And has an unrelenting kind of pursuit of his movie. So there was a lot of passion and a lot of time. I enjoyed the whole experience with him, to be honest. It was something that, I feel the same way. I don't, when I'm making a film, I don't make it just to make it. When I choose that, it's something that I want it to be the very best that it can be, whatever the film is. And he has that. There's no time did I ever feel, he's just very committed. And also, I think, a very special person. I think Cage is very human. He's someone who, as he said, it's like when the war broke out, he was into marketing, and then he got brought on because he was an ROTC early in his college career. Never thought, he's not a soldier. He's not a warrior. He doesn't think of things like that. He's an unabashed coward, basically. And I think that this kind of wonderful journey where he's that reluctant guy, the reluctant hero who does not want to get involved in this. He's sure about one thing, that he doesn't want to be on that beach. And he knows that there are other people that can do it. And I think even the way the film opens, where he's asleep in the helicopter as it's landing, and he's talking about the war and selling the exosuit and the kind of strategy of the United Defense Force. But he's someone who is never in a million years would want to be or would even think that he's going to end up on that beach. And I think along with this kind of, the alien superpower that he takes on, gives us a really unique character journey. And also, the pressure and compression down when he meets Rita, is very much feels the weight of the world on her shoulders, and he's trying to give it to her. He can't give it. He's like, this character's like, why don't I give? You're supposed to have this, not me. And it has just the structure of it has a wonderful, just a wonderful dynamic. No, very important. Also, you have to understand that the structure is something that, when we're working on the film, you're writing it every single day. I mean, I spent a good year, Doug and I, year and a half, working on the script and working on the film. And then also throughout it, we're just working. And then to get Emily involved, and Emily, those characters are being developed as we're going along, because when you're shooting the film, you're seeing what's working and what's not. And as I said before, Emily is a tremendous dramatic actress, but also has incredible character comedy. I mean, I've admired her work right from her very first films, and have watched her and have wanted to work with her. And I think what she brought to this character is that kind of pathos, is that kind of humanity. And she doesn't compromise in her choices, and the film doesn't compromise in terms of the characters. So every day, we had a lot of fun working together, and it was a joy to work with her and to act with her. It was interesting when I first read the story, and we kept working on it, Doug, and I said, one of the things I talked a lot to him about was the tone. And I said, this is the kind of movies that I really like, a character comedy. And I said, this is a movie that there's different ways to, that you can tell the story without compromising the essence of the film, and I wanted that kind of character, and so did he. We mined it throughout. I said, this, even like if you would have read the first draft, it was very dark, and I said, you know what, to me, this is a very funny movie. And that's just kind of my sensibility, my sense of humor, and also when I'm looking at a character and I started thinking about the structure, I found that this is stuff that, and what I also love is that in Doug's films, he has a unique comedy in his movies, and he's got a good sense of drama comedy, a good sense of character comedy that makes you kind of go, oh, but it still makes you laugh, and that's the kind of stuff that in this scale of film to be able to really explore and push as much as possible. I know, this is, definitely, when we started talking about it early on, I saw the designs of the exosuits, I thought it was just sensational. And one of the things Doug and I talked about right from the beginning is, let's shoot it practical. And we talked to Simon and Wade and the stunt team. And so I went to London early, once they had the first prototype of the suit. It was right after I finished another film, and just really started to work to give Doug the idea of what the silhouette's like and what the suit is actually capable of. Because a lot of times we think of action, we'll design action, but now we had to look at the suit and see what can we do. And I think what we were able to do with that suit, and I think this was, a lot of the stunt guys and different people around are going to understand how skillful it was. I think the stunt team that we had, and to push that kind of character, because it's, my character has to start out not clumsy, and she's quite elegant, how she moves, and she's very advanced, and her suit's a little different than mine. And my suit, you have to see that he just is the first time that he's been in it, and there's this progression for the character, and we needed that kind of progression. I had to understand where we started and where we ended up. So yes, the suit weighed about 85 pounds, and then sometimes when I had full armament, the angel wings, I think it went up to over 100, 120 pounds. But it was very technical in what the things we had to do, and I kept pushing them also because of certain things the audience will see, the kind of character comedy. I kept saying, look, we got to think Bugs Bunny, think Wile E. I want to be thrown against this wall. It needs to be spun, and we started looking at compositions like that, and that's also Doug's. We have that same kind of sense of humor that we were laughing so hard coming up with different ways that I could get crushed, which is fun because this film allows death to be tragic and hurt, and it allows it to be funny, and allows it to be, kind of beautifully romantic and painful. And then the film has a wonderful ending, and just really, I think the film kind of sends you away feeling, I think good about movies and joyful, I think, about life. And that's one of the things that we wanted to really give to an audience.